Now then, how are you diddling? Excellent, me too, thank you very much for asking. Welcome to the Social Media Podcast. This time, another episode here to try and help you with your social media content and find out what it is that you can do for free yourself. But sometimes it does require spending money to get your brand out there a little bit further.
The Social Media Podcast with Simon Scholes. Tips, hints, and great content ideas.
So today, the 29th of February, traditionally the final day in February on a leap year. It is also traditionally the day that women are able to ask men to marry them. Not that that isn't really allowed any other day whatsoever, but it is a tradition, so a lot of people stick to that tradition. However, it is slightly an unusual tradition, and it got me thinking about unusual content that people make for their social media channels and how they get their brand out there and get it going further. So I want you to think about your brand, especially if you are B2C. If you sell an item, a product, how do you actually think about marketing your product? Now, you can do all sorts of different things. You can create videos about your product. You can do photographs. You could write blogs about your product. If it's got a particular USP, you can write about that. You can let people know. So, for example, if it's vegan or if it's not in plastic, so you don't use any plastics in your storage or in making it, all that kind of stuff. But the question is how do you make content that's going to actually get people to stop and take a look? And that's where getting a professional in actually really does make a massive, massive difference. Whether it be a photographer who's going to take photos of your food, but in a very specific way because they've got a creative idea, or whether it's coming to a video production team like us and getting us to help you create 3D GIFs or 360-degree content, or maybe you want cinemagraphs, which are moving photographs. It's all about going to the right professional and getting the right team to help you create that content, because they'll be able to come up with ideas that you would probably not even known were actually potentially available to you as a business. Maybe you would thought they were too expensive, or maybe you didn't know they existed. Well, those professionals can help you decide what your budget is available and what you can do with that budget as well. So don't always write off doing stuff. Don't always just assume there's nothing else out there. It is always worth having a chat with a professional. See what content they can help you create for your brand and for your business, especially when it's coming to the fact that you're going to put money behind your content. If you're going to actually pay for Facebook ads, you're paying for Instagram story ads, if you're going to pay for LinkedIn ads, which are quite expensive but get a really good return, but you need content that is actually going to make people stop in the tracks and take a look. So if you don't have that, then you could potentially be wasting your money. So you don't want to do that. So for that little bit of extra spend, why not have a chat with a professional and see what they can help you with? I'm not saying you need to spend thousands. I'm not saying you need to break the bank, but it's always worth having a chat with somebody and seeing what they can help you with, especially if it's not your area of expertise. If you're a great photographer or a great videographer, absolutely 100% do it yourself. But if you're not, and you want that type of content to really draw people in, then have a chat with a professional team, get an agency on the phone, drop them an email and just say, look, this is my product, this is my budget, what kind of stuff can you suggest, and is there anything available from you guys? And don't just chat to one agency either. Chat to a few. You wouldn't do it if you were getting housework done, would you? You wouldn't have a wall built in your house and just go for one quote and that's it. You would get 3 quotes and potentially go for the middle ground one, not the cheapest one because you can't guarantee that's necessarily going to be the best, but you try and find a middle ground that's not going to cost you a small fortune and is within your budget. So think about your content in exactly the same way. What do you want to achieve from your advert? What do you want to show? And then get that person to really help you create some great content to go with it. And then when you put it out as a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad or whatever you're actually looking to do in your campaign, then you'll hopefully get a really good return because it will stop people in their tracks and make them take a look. Okay, hopefully you got some value from today. Yes, I know it's one about spending money, which is something I'm generally against, but sometimes it is actually needed. Anyway, like I say, hopefully you got value, and until next time, have a good bye.
This was a Perception Studios production.